Have you ever wondered how to create a high-performing team? I remember wondering that myself a very long time ago, and wow, did I ever learn. A team is defined as a group of people working together to achieve a common goal. There are two key words in that definition. The first is working together versus against each other, and the second is in achieving a common goal, or as I like to call it, a shared vision. It would be great if every team member could start out as a high-performing one, but we're all humans and it takes time for us to warm up to each other, so we have to go through each stage. As leaders, we become impatient with our teams and think we should be able to have a high-performing team right out of the gate and skip all the other phases, but that's just not how it works. It takes time to develop a high-performing team, and it takes solid intention from you as the leader. As we see in the definition, the effectiveness of so many teams depends on getting them to work together collectively to achieve an outcome. It's a process of learning together, and it's your job as the leader to make sure everyone works through the stages and help them to get there. Okay, enough about talking about the intro. Do you want to know what the stages are? Awesome. I'm Annette Blankenship with Together Forward, and today we'll discuss the 5 stages every high-performing team must go through. Okay, let's start with a quick overview of where this concept of 5 phases came from. Bruce Tuckman, an educational psychologist and researcher, identified the 5-stage process that most teams follow to become high-performing in 1965 to explain how healthy teams gel over time. Tuckman's model explains that as the teams develop in maturity, ability, relationships start to establish, and the leadership changes in style. He suggests that leaders begin with a directing style, moving through to more of a coaching style, and finishing with delegation, at which point the team is almost detached from the leader and the team can work through things together on their own. The stages appear to be easy and obvious, but they can be very difficult to implement. As I stated in the intro, sometimes as leaders we want to quickly move to the performing stage, right? Without passing through the other stages first. However, like I said before, we all have to start with stage 1, and this is where the work begins. It's what sets you apart as from every other leader. So let's take a look at each stage and learn the main characteristics of each. The forming stage is easy. It's where we all start when we meet a stranger, but sometimes in a company setting, people's reputations precede them, true or not. This stage is where everyone gets introduced. We're all polite and we get along. It's called forming because the team is starting to come together and everyone is trying to figure out the concept of the project at hand and understand their role in it. And this is when some of the initial leaders will start to speak up first. The team is usually positive because no one has been offended yet. The forming stage may have a range of emotions for team members, from excitement and anticipation to pride or suspicion and anxiety. Many are trying to determine the acceptable group behavior, and others are deciding what information they need to gather. There's so much going on in this phase that it's distracting the attention, and not much is getting accomplished on these project goals. This is normal as the team starts to work towards understanding the project at hand, their role, and the solution, and interacting with the others. Some are more aggressive team members that may start showing signs of conflict right away, but the majority will get along. In this stage, you as the leader want to take more of a directing role to get the team moving in the right direction. Number 2, the storming phase is the most difficult, and many teams just can't get past it. It's the cause of a lot of project failures. The honeymoon phase is over. Leaders who were silent may start to be more vocal and work towards getting control of the group. People start to disagree and the blame game may start to be played. And they say the project won't work. This team may resist tasks or improvements suggested by other team members. Bad attitudes, arguments may arise, even if they all agree on the real issues. Some will be defensive, others will be competitive, some others will take sides. Leadership's wisdom may be questioned as those selected for the project team start to think about it. There may be disunity, increased tension, jealousy. That's right, it's not a fun time, but it's rewarding when you coach the team through it. Because of the conflict, team members may not be progressing well towards the team goals, but they are beginning to understand each other. And it may take 3 to 4 meetings before things really start to norm out. This is time for you as the leader to be the coach, to understand each other, help them understand each other and move past the barriers. You'll need to help your team develop a mindset to move past the conflict, creating for them a framework so that they can see each other's perspectives and viewpoints. And once you start to see the team begin to gel, it's very rewarding. Number 3, the norm phase comes out of the storming phase. It's where we bounce back with some things. Things are calming down and we get to some normalcy. The team starts working well together and has less stormy conversations. The positivity starts to show through. They may occasionally revert back and forth between the storming and norming when new issues crop up, but overall, the team begins to be more collaborative and is becoming more mature. The leaders in this stage may not be the same ones who were vocal from the very beginning. Team members are able to express criticism constructively, and there's a general acceptance of each other on the team. There's an attempt to achieve harmony by avoiding the conflict. They're friendlier to each other, and some may even start to confide in each other and share personal problems. Trust begins to form and relationships begin to solidify. As the team members begin to work through their differences, they have more time to focus and more energy for the project. In this phase, you can move to the role of delegator and the work actually gets done. Occasionally, you will need to reiterate the framework for resolving the conflict, but things are settling down and performance is going up. Number 4, the performing phase. The performing phase is when the teams have learned about each other and they know how each other will react. They are acting as an effective, cohesive unit. They're operating at maximum efficiency. They can be given new tasks and accomplish them successfully. They rarely fall back into that storming phase, and at this level, they're operating on their own. They're self-directed, and they require little management. The tasks are getting completed timely. They're very collaborative. They're resolving issues and risks and just moving the project forward in the right direction. They have insights into the personal and group processes, and they're able to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. People are able to work through their own problems, and they have close attachments to each other, and that team is now a cohesive unit, and a lot of work is getting done. In this phase, you'll continue your role as the delegator, and you'll see the team operating at that maximum level. And number 5, the adjourning phase is when the project is complete and the team starts winding down and they've been through so much together, and they start sharing this information with others on how they achieved something together, how they improved processes along the way. The team starts to just have that bittersweet sense of accomplishment coupled with the reluctance to say goodbye to each other. And a lot of relationships were formed because this team worked together for so long. And when it disbands, your role in this is simply to be the proud parent and brag on the team's accomplishments and celebrate their victory. In order to create a high-performing team, you've got to be a high-performing leader and set the example. Leading your team the way they need to be led at each stage is the first step. You'll need to be flexible and use various methods to lead, as we've talked about: directing, coaching, delegating, playing the proud parent. And you'll need to be flexible in your leadership style, depending on what the individual needs for the good of the team. The biggest impact is simply just leading with humility. And when you stay humble but strong in your convictions, you expect the team to work as a unit, you coach them when they go astray, and you give them the credit. They will reward you with their best on future projects. And why? Because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you care enough to be flexible to what the team needs and not just what's good for you, you'll show that you care. When you set up a framework for conflict and show others how to work through their disagreements in a healthy way, you show that you care. When you demand fairness and accountability for the good of the team and the shared vision, you demonstrate the type of leadership that others will want to follow. Well, I hope you enjoyed the 5 stages every high-performing team must experience. And if you want to learn more, we've got a project management course available to teach you all the basics of project management. When I started out 15 years ago, I was winging it much of the time. And over time, I've learned the mindset, the skill set, and the toolkits needed to be successful in leading organizations and teams. The Method to the Madness is a project management system and philosophy centered around a way of thinking strategically about your high priority projects. It will help you build a framework that can be tailored to your organization to help you create repeatable processes to improve your project management skills, saving you time and money. I've also included my done-for-you templates that you can tweak to fit your processes to help your organization move in the right direction quickly. Check it out in the link below. Thank you for watching. Happy leading, and I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that like button. Every like helps us to reach new people. And if you want to see new videos on leadership, strategy, and project management to help you with your business or career every week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Also, please let us know what your top leadership, strategy, and project management challenges are so that we can make some new videos in the future with your feedback. Thank you for watching. I'm Annette Blankenship, and I'll see you in the next video.